amateur, they had like these big contests. It was basically like the Tampa Am, but it was the NSA Amateur Series. So there was like districts, and then there was a regionals, and then if you did good there, you went to the finals, which was for the whole United States. So I did good in the first two, and then at the finals, Zorlak was like, yeah, we'll pay for you to get to the contest. So basically they bought me a bus ticket from Toronto to Phoenix. It's like a 4.5-day bus ride. We had to sleep in the bushes. There was no hotel. I ended up winning the contest, and basically Bill made me quit. I went to his house afterwards. He dialed the phone and was like, you're quitting right now? And I was like, I can't. I don't have any other sponsors. He's like, you're gonna quit and I'll get you hooked up by Powell. So he dialed the phone and put it in my hand, and I was like, yeah, I don't think anything's working. And I was in the middle of a sentence and Bill just hung up the phone. He's like, say you quit. He quits. Click. And that was it. Right when I turned pro for Powell was like at the height of vert skating. But when I say height, I mean, here's the mountain. It was right here. And then straight down from there. My first check was like $2,500. Next check was like $3,600. I was like, yeah! Next check, back to 20. The next check was like 1,100, and then the next check was like 6. And I called up and I was like, hey, something's wrong with my check. What's going on? They're like, no, vert skating is just dying. I got a letter from Jim Fitzpatrick, who worked for Powell, and I still save this letter. It's about 20-something years old, and it says, vert skating is just dead. Vert skaters are extinct. It's basically a dinosaur. Skateboarding doesn't want to support it, so unfortunately we can't support vert skating anymore. I ripped the letter up. After I ripped it, I taped it back together and I decided I was going to save it. But they said, it's up to you what you want to do. Called them up and I was like, okay, I guess it's over. I quit. I went from being like Leonardo DiCaprio, where like, I'm on top of the world, to professional skateboarding sucks, man. When I rode for Stereo, we're all traveling, we're on a train, and this is back in '92. Germany's like crazy racist. Seemed like back then. We're all sleeping. The conductor is this 60-year-old guy, has like a 1.5 pound stapler that he punches your ticket, and he's coming down the aisle and he gets to Sheffy, who's like a large black dude, and he's sleeping with his feet on the chair next to him. He asks us for our tickets. Without saying a word to Sheffy, he gets to him, looks at him, looks at us, opens up his stapler, just like a Catholic school nun would wrap someone on the knuckles, goes, whack, and pushed like 6 inches of skin down off of Sheffy's shins. And Sheffy wakes up and goes, what the fuck? There's blood pouring. The guy says, get your feet off of the chair. You have no respect. Bad German impression. I thought like we're all gonna be in jail because we were gonna end up probably beating a 60-year-old man's ass. Somehow it got squashed. Pretty much everyone had to sit on him just to hold him back because he would have beat the guy's ass. Carol was screaming, wipe your blood on him. Fuck that. We were on our way to Daytona, we're driving, and we see this crash where this car flips and these 3 huge Navy dudes get thrown from the car. So we pull up and the car's laying on this guy's legs. Another guy is seatbelted in, just saying like, help, flip the car over. There was like 4 of us like pushed it over and lowered it down slow. The one dude was a big black dude. When you get a cut, deep cuts are white and it stands out, but on dark skin it was like, I'll never forget like how gnarly it looked. It looked like he was swimming in piranhas. They come, they take him away. We drive to Daytona to skate. After seeing all that blood, I didn't even feel like skating. On the way home, as we're coming into Ybor, up an overpass, I swear it happened just like this. I said the words, could you imagine like crashing off of one of these things, like an overpass? And as I said that, this car comes from the other way. It was a lowrider pickup truck, and it's doing like a high-speed 50-50 feeble grind, 50-50 rail slide, like 60 feet, teetering on the edge of the overpass. And we were like, holy shit. I pull over and I was like, oh my God, this thing came to a spinning stop. It was me, my friend Mike Martin, and Milford Barnes. We run up to the car. All 4 wheels are completely off. It's got like radiator fluid, gas, water, everything's spraying out. Across the window, it said in big green letters with like a splash, like the old Lester graphics, low enough with a question mark. Like it was a low rider, and the guy's like, yo, all flattened out. We run up and we were like, dude, are you all right? And he was like, I'm fine. He throws a beer can out. He's like, I just need a light. He's trying to light up a cigarette. You could seriously probably throw a match 10 feet away and light the whole thing on fire. So we get him out of the car. We're about 30 feet away from his car. A car comes flying over the thing, no brakes at all. Wham! Hits his car and pushes his car in that car. We run up, we're like, hey, are you guys all right? And it was girls. They're all drunk. And they're like, oh my God, Jackie's dead, Jackie's dead. We're like, get out of your fucking car now. So we're pulling him out of the car. One girl's like out cold. So Mike Martin picks her up like Sasquatch style. A car comes flying over the hill again, sees what's going on, hits the brakes and slides about 60 feet. Boom, and hits them. We're standing there like, what the fuck? And my friend Milford, like, I've never seen anyone have a nervous breakdown. You know when you see movies of guys in war? Like, there's guys in the trenches that get shot and they're like, fucking go save Joe. That's what we gotta do. And then there's guys that go, I can't take it anymore. Milford starts screaming, what is happening? He's looking up, talking to this guy going, Jesus, what is happening? So me and Mike are like, Milford, go to the top of the overpass and start stopping people. I run to the top, and as I'm getting to the top, this semi is going probably 80. Right when he gets to the top, he locks up his brakes when he sees what he's coming down on. And when a semi skids, this was a flatbed trailer, it bounces. And this guy pulled like the sickest NASCAR move. Like you couldn't have scripted it any better. All 3 lanes are blocked. There's just an emergency shoulder. He goes from like the fast lane, bounces. In between each skid was like 4 feet of clear cement. Bounced all the way around it, and as soon as he got even with it, he just accelerates through. Missed the whole thing. It was crazy. Milford was like having a nervous breakdown right in front of all of us. He couldn't help. I think he was even on his knees screaming, what is happening, Jesus? What is happening? Element for life. I don't have any hard feelings towards those guys, but it was funny because when I rode for Element, Johnny sent me a book that said, you're Element forever, I'm so stoked. Element for life, I guess, just means Element for life for the time being. For me, at least. Element for life until Vert skating is for dinosaurs. When I rode for Deluxe, it was Real, Stereo, and Anti-Hero guys. We were all traveling together, and I was hanging out with Carl a lot. I had a brand new thing of pepper spray, and I was like itchy to use it. It's not like I was looking for a fight, but if there was one, I was definitely gonna try to shake some shit up. We're up in our hotel. There was probably like 500 kids out front of the hotel. That's the hotel where all the American pros stayed. So for those kids, it was like Woodstock. They slept in the bushes just to hang out and see the American pros. So we look down and we see these 2 German guys like kind of walking through the crowd, just throwing kids and pushing them. So Carl's like, fuck that, let's go down there and fuck those dudes up. I was like, all right, I got this mace, this will be fun. We get down there and they're gone. So now it's like me, Carl, Chris, Jason, Ethan was there. This is like 2 hours later. We're eating about 7 stores down from the hotel. Someone comes in and goes, hey, Frazier, Carl, those guys are back. They're fucking with some kids again. We go out there and we see this little kid come flying out of a doorway. We walk up and look in the doorway, and the 2 guys had another little kid cornered, like 11-year-old kid. So it's like a 10 and 11-year-old kid getting beat up by guys our age. The guy looks at me and I go, hey, what's going on? And the guy sticks his hand in his pocket without saying a word, pulls out a switchblade, and he looks at me and Carl like, you wanna fuck with me? Right when he did that, it was like slow motion, and I thought, I'm gonna get stabbed right now. And then I remembered I had the mace. I pull out the mace and I had to activate it. I turned the thing, and the look on this guy's face, he didn't even react at all. He probably thought I was having an asthma attack and I'm pulling out asthma. Because as I turn it, he looks at it like, what the fuck is that? I had it in my right hand, so I act like I'm gonna punch him with my left, and he kind of covered up. The pepper spray that I had comes out in a cone. It looked like I spray painted him with red paint because this stuff had dye in it. Within 5 seconds, he had snot and spit and like mucus just running out of his face. He's screaming. Carl started kicking him, and he drops the knife, runs to the building, and he's feeling down the wall for like a block, and Carl's just kicking him in the ass. The guy's running, screaming, ah! And I looked at his buddy, who's probably shitting his pants, did the same thing, like I was gonna hit him with the left, maced him, and now there's a huge cloud, and this old guy comes out who could speak English. He goes, get out of here, what's going on? Ah, he runs into the clouds. Now it's like one guy getting kicked in the ass, another guy standing, holding his face, and then an old man walks into the cloud, and then me and Carl, we busted out. Carl kicked him in the ass, probably, I'm not exaggerating, for a minute. Bam, like full hooligan soccer kicks. So after seeing that, I was like, oh, this stuff's the best. For me, skating, I did the whole contest thing and traveling and everything for 20 years, 25 years. I loved every minute of it. I always felt like I was pulling a fast one. You feel like you're the luckiest dude. Like, dude, I'm getting paid to skate. This is insane. This has got to end sometime. Eventually, the gig's gonna be up, and when it is up, you know, it sucks, but For me, I've never had more fun skating. I don't have the stress, because for vert skating, it's like you're doing contests. And that's, as shitty as it is, that's the barometer of how good are you? Are you a good vert skater? How good do you do in contests? With skating now, it's as fun as when I was 18, because now I'm doing it with my son Reese, and it's skating with him and watching him learn like a lean air for the first time reminds me of when I was that kid, how stoked I was. It's that fun again for me.